Plastic water bottles have become ubiquitous. They are in our bags, on our desks, and in our cars. We reach for them constantly, driven by convenience and a desire for on-the-go hydration. But have you ever stopped to think about the journey of that bottle? How it went from a raw material to the container in your hand? The story of the plastic water bottle is a complex one, and it's time we take a closer look. The numbers are staggering. Globally, we consume millions of plastic water bottles every minute. This demand has created a massive industry with factories working around the clock to produce these single-use containers. While quenching our thirst may seem simple, the implications of our bottled water dependence are far-reaching. The problem is not just the sheer volume of bottles we use, it is also the environmental impact of every stage of their life cycle. From the extraction of raw materials to the disposal of the bottles, each step has consequences for our planet. Understanding this journey is the first step towards making more sustainable choices. The life of a plastic water bottle begins with crude oil. This fossil fuel is extracted from the earth and transported to refineries where it undergoes a series of chemical processes. The goal is to create polyethylene terephthalate, or PET, the plastic used to make most water bottles. The PET is then formed into small pellets, which are shipped to bottling plants around the world. At the plant, the pellets are melted down and injected into molds. These molds shape the molten plastic into the familiar form of a water bottle. Once cooled, the bottles are cleaned, inspected, and filled with water. Labels are applied, and the bottles are packaged for distribution. From there, they travel by truck, train, or ship to reach store shelves and eventually our hands. The entire process, from oil extraction to bottled water on the shelf, is energy intensive. It relies heavily on fossil fuels and contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. This is just one part of the environmental cost of our bottled water habit. In recent years, there has been growing concern about microplastics, tiny particles of plastic that are increasingly found in our environment, including our water sources. While more research is needed, some studies suggest that plastic water bottles themselves could be a source of microplastic contamination. The manufacturing process, the bottling process, and even the degradation of the plastic over time can all contribute to the release of microplastics. These particles are often too small to be seen with the naked eye, but they can accumulate in the environment and potentially end up in our bodies. The long-term health impacts of ingesting microplastics are still being studied. However, there is concern that these particles could disrupt hormone function, cause inflammation, and even carry harmful chemicals into our bodies. While more research is needed to fully understand the risks, the presence of microplastics in our water is a cause for concern. Section 4, the plastic we drink, health impacts and uncertain futures. While the science on microplastics is still developing, we know that plastic water bottles themselves have a clear environmental impact. The vast majority of these bottles are not recycled. They end up in landfills, where they can take hundreds of years to decompose, or in our oceans, where they contribute to the growing problem of plastic pollution. Plastic pollution is a global crisis. It threatens marine life, contaminates our food chain, and disrupts ecosystems. The plastic bottles we use for a few minutes can have lasting consequences for our planet. Beyond the environmental impact, there are potential health concerns associated with the chemicals used to make some plastic bottles. While PET plastic is generally considered safe, other types of plastic can leach chemicals into the water, especially when exposed to heat or sunlight. Section 5, turning the tide. Rethinking our relationship with bottled water. The journey of a plastic water bottle is a complex one, with hidden costs at every stage. From the extraction of raw materials to the potential presence of microplastics, our reliance on bottled water has far-reaching consequences. But there is hope. By understanding the true cost of our choices, we can make more sustainable decisions. We can choose reusable water bottles, support companies that are reducing their plastic footprint, and advocate for policies that promote refillable options. Every small step we take can make a difference. By choosing to reduce our dependence on plastic water bottles, we can protect our health, preserve our planet, and create a more sustainable future for generations to come.